Okay. Well, let's do deformity.
Okay.
Okay. I've got this on the screen so people can see what you're working on. This is deformity, and this is in the skill called the last three pathologies. And deformity has a lot of headings in it, such as causes of deformity, and they are links or cutoffs. And so I'm going to ask you to test, and I have my cursor next to the things I'm asking you so people can follow along if they want. But you're not going to know what you're testing.
Right.
You're going to just, you're just going to get the information from a higher power as to what you should work on without looking at or knowing what it is. Your head's not going to be involved in this at all. This is going to be just your finger and your heart and soul and your connection with God, and your spirit guides and the powers that be are going to tell you what to work on. So would it be this one? You got a yes on that? Let's just get fast yeses.
I get, okay, no.
If it's not a fast yes, it's not a yes. How about this one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
Okay, yes.
Okay, inheritance. And inheritance, a cause of deformity. Inheritance is received from your parents in this lifetime. This is a function of conception and the first minutes of gestation. It can sometimes happen in the hours after conception and very rarely in the days after conception. So this is a conception trauma, you might know, but it's not a trauma. It's something that gets forged into you.
Right.
And what we're going to try to do is unforge it. So it says, do this. First of all, what was the nature of the first few moments of your existence when the sperm and egg united?
Well, so
what do you see, sense, or feel? Just channel. This is a pure channeling kind of job. And here's a pure picture of Keely.
Well, boy.
Does it feel hot or cold?
Okay, so I'm just
Sharp or smooth? And whatever pops in your head's probably right.
Blissful. It's just sort of, just happening, and I don't know. I get that it was fine. It was, I get loving. I'm not really thinking about my parents, but I'm thinking.
Good. No, this is good.
The whole thing was very loving, and it was very, just great.
How many inheritances have you got? Over 100. Start with that.
From just that first initial.
From those instances, you want to test a number? Do not get
over 100. Yes.
Okay, so it's over 100. Now test how many do I have to identify in order to clear the inheritances? Would it be over 100? Do I have to identify over 100 of them? Let's hope not.
No.
How about over 10? Do I have to identify over 10?
I get yes in order to clear it.
Okay, how about over 20 in order to clear it? Do I have to identify over 20?
No, I get like 10.
Okay, so around 10. Okay.
So really clear it.
Now, we're not going to... okay, let's try to identify one of them.
Yeah, see, I think...
Let's just try to... so that people have an example of what they're looking for. Does anything pop into your mind?
Well, that life has to be like that.
Okay.
That's my first and I think biggest one. That life has to be wonderful and effortless, and everything has to go right, and has to be super loving.
That would be a deformity.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deformity.
But you have to remember the nature of a deformity. See, because it could just be an attitude. It doesn't necessarily have to be a deformity. It's a deformity if it is. Like it's a deformity if it's that much a part of you and that physical.
Yeah.
And that, not exactly physical, but that real, that solid, that, you see what I mean? That inherent in your nature.
I get yes that it is.
Mm-hmm.
I get yes that this deformity interferes with, we'll call it reality for the sake.
Yeah, right. It could be very, well, yeah, it would cripple you. Deformities, that's what they do. That's actually really the meaning of the word. It's something that is crippling you.
Yeah.
Well, then, let's go on. Okay, so there's an example of one. Do any other ones pop in before, as we go? If you see any more of them, just tell us, because...
I will, but I think that's the biggest one. That's crop.
Okay, now test, do I have any non-occurrences regarding this deformity?
Yes.
How many? Over 100?
Non-occurrences, of course, yes.
Okay, so now just so people know, you see, non-occurrences is linked. And so if people want to get definitions of these things, what you do is you click on the link and you find out all about non-occurrences. Like here's the page on non-occurrences. And non-occurrences are things that didn't happen, and it can be something that you didn't do, somebody else didn't do, a non-occurrence is something that you might say was supposed to happen and didn't, and they can overlap. That's very important. And also there's a lot more about them on this thing. Like there's all these things to ask about them. There's a whole huge lesson about non-occurrences.
Yeah.
Non-occurrences are a major problematic thing that, it's all the things that didn't happen in our lives that we're supposed to, are harming us.
Or that could have, if the deformity weren't there, that would have been real life as opposed to the deformity, what was dictated by the deformity.
Now, I want you to ask also if there are things that you inherited that are good things that you need to activate.
Yes.
Say I'm activating them now and get a signal on when you have.
Okay, I haven't named any, but...
you don't have to.
Yeah. Okay, I'm activating now.
The things I've inherited that I need to activate.
The things I need to activate, right. I'm just doing it and I'm getting yes that I'm activating. I've activated them.
Have I cleared or partially cleared this deformity?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel any different?
Yes, I do. And to describe that, mindful of others.
More mindful of others.
Mindful of others as distinct from me, as distinct and different from me.
Uh-huh.
Which, generally I'm pretty good at, but, I think that's just the variety of life and things that I don't know that are out there in people, in the world. By my age, I think I've seen it all. No, it's easy.
Well, test, am I happy?
Yes. Am I happy? Yes.
You got a signal on that?
Yes.
And am I making the right choices?
Am I making the right choices? Yes.
Okay, great.